education community complaint, formerly known as a citizen complaint. It's the way that this slide is structured, walks through sort of some of the different steps and distills information from OSPI's website and the information they provide. I will try to pop in a few links that I think are helpful, but I guess I'm not controlling the slides, but I think you'll naturally know how to pace through them. And the first step is to file a complaint. Anyone is able to file a complaint, and I guess the caveat being there has to be a rule that violates IDEA. Now, you don't have to know the specific rule that's being violated, so you can simply place information in the complaint of the issue that you think is occurring. And that's what I think makes the process accessible, that, for example, as a parent, you can write in, a specific example of what's happening and don't need to know the complex laws and structures and regulations. They will do that for you. And that's kind of what the second step is here. OSPI, and this is the office, oh my gosh, Superintendent of Public Instruction, Office for the Superintendent or something of Public Instruction. I'm going to say OSPI because that's easier. OSPI replies with the statement of the issue. So it's kind of like a summary and their determination of what violation has occurred, right? And that might also be the case that there is no violation, right? They may find that as well, and that would be in their response. They will then request the district's response if there is a violation at that stage. The district then has 17 calendar days to respond. It is possible they could request an extension. Sometimes a particular issue might be more complicated, or perhaps you have many different violations and that may take more time, or there's some extenuating circumstance that requires more time.
This is Yana. I'm going to jump in and say that even parents can request extension. And I've requested extension to my deadlines based on my disability needs. There are some other challenges that people have shared with OSPI and gotten extension for their due dates.
So once the district, sorry, this is Pam. Once the district responds to the complaint, OSPI will review their response, and then they go through and remove any personally identifiable information. That's because this is also a public record, and the complaint will later be submitted on their website. So none of the students' names or other teacher adult names are in there. I believe they do include the district, but I think that's as far as it really goes into specifics. After that information is removed, OSPI will send the district's response to the person filing the complaint, or here, the complainant. There's a second, I'm not sure why it's not showing all of it. It should be, there you go. And that also depends on if you have access to those records, right? You have to be able to be essentially approved to receive records for the student. I can't remember what age. Is it 18 or is it earlier?
Yes, it's 18. But for example, when I will give an example that's a little bit related, is that when I filed for my 18-year-old just this summer, they basically needed to verify that I am related to my child. And so he didn't need to sign release of information because they knew who we were. That helps.
Right, and this is Pam. So again, you might also have an advocate, or there might be some other case that someone's submitting a complaint. They would also have to have that release. Next, then you, as the individual or whoever is submitting the complaint, is given 10 calendar days. And as Yana mentioned earlier, you can receive an extension, right? And that's to respond to OSPI with any additional information that might be pertinent to the complaint, right? That you may not have thought of. sort of like a rebuttal in a sense, but includes more details. Next.
Can I just add, Pam, one thing, and that's when you go through the district's response, it can be pretty upsetting when you see denying facts, like we did not violate your child's right, and we did not do this. So you are basically responding to each of the points in the district's complaint as you go, and say why you believe this or that is true or is not true.
Yep, thanks. This is Pam. So step number 7, the reply from the complainant is received by by OSPI and then shared with the district. Sorry for the typo there. And just to point out here, again, all of this is public record. And so all the information that's received from OSPI is being shared sort of from these 3 different points, to OSPI, to the district, and to the complainant. So anytime that information is submitted, it will be shared or should be shared with all the parties involved in the complaint process. And then finally, OSPI will review all of the information obtained throughout the whole process, right? They may even request additional information for clarification or maybe records. I think some of the other things they might provide or suggest, and in my experience, I haven't heard of this, so I'm not sure how rare or how often this is, but they might show up to the school and have an observation. They might interview the complainant, the parent, staff, so that could take additional time. Then the final slide, if we can go to the next step. Overall, this process is about 60 days. Again, as I referred to earlier, there's opportunities for the district to extend and for the complainant to extend. But pending those extensions, the decision from OSPI must be sent within 60 days of the date that it was filed when OSPI received. So for example, if you send the complaint on a Sunday, probably doesn't start until Monday, until a business day when they've received that complaint. And a few other things I wanted to cover. If they find a violation, what often they'll do is create a document that describes sort of the, and I'm losing the word now, corrective action plan, right? That's, you could also call like a remedy, right? And it depends on the facts of the case, what they find was a violation and what their recommendation is.